Hey everybody, welcome to the Storytellers tonight. We've got a special Kickstarter version of the Storytellers because Billy launched Shakira. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sakura.
Sakura.
She Sakura.
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 Launched yesterday, and this afternoon we launched Giant Size Two-Fisted Manly Tales on Kickstarter.
Heck yes.
And we also have Dan Lawlis with us, a really talented artist who did the variant cover for Giant Size Two-Fisted Manly Tales. And we're going to be talking about the crossover crowdfunding. You know, how does that work? What's the advantages? What's the disadvantages of it? And it should be interesting. If you haven't liked the channel, please do so. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's free. It helps the algorithms and gets the word out. And that's what we're all trying to do is get the word out today. So welcome, gentlemen.
Hi.
Welcome, brother.
Good to see everybody. Yeah, I haven't seen Dan in a couple of weeks since the last time he was on Storytellers. Billy, I saw this morning because he was kind enough to help launch.
And then last night,
Two-Fisted Manly Tales.
And then last night, and then Monday, we're getting sick of each other.
I know it, right?
God, it was Cinco de Mayo, so I have to see you for tomorrow.
Yeah, but we're not doing the professionals tomorrow, right?
No.
Okay, all right. So we got to pass tomorrow night. Okay.
Cinco de Mayo nukes professionals.
I think any reason to drink nukes the professionals.
Yeah, just combine them.
Well, it was Cinco de Mayo, and Dan has custody of all the kids because his wife is away on her first single vacation. So he was going to be out anyway. So we just decided, well, we'll regroup because we like to get all the bros together.
Yeah, you gotta keep people wanting.
It's missing. It really does. It's just there's something missing.
Yeah. It's a magical group, and we like to keep it together. Hey, everybody in the chat.
I never miss an episode, you guys. I love watching it.
Oh, do you?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I got to show you this because you guys were talking last week about toys.
Oh, that's like the ginger.
Yeah. The action team G.I. Joe.
Look at the fingers are all, broken off.
So that, remember, because one was like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
exactly.
These were really cheap plastic or something. They all got broken when you put them in the fingers of the guns and stuff.
Yeah, because remember, and then when he held the gun, though, his finger was like this. Remember, he had to hold it like.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because this one, the one would have 4 fingers, would hold it, and the other one was the trigger finger, which was the first to break. But we had a bunch of these guys. I mean, we had all the stuff. I had the mobile headquarters and the tower, and
the tower was great, wasn't it?
Did you have the helicopter?
Oh yeah. Actually, I have some older brothers. They had the stuff that was a little more military.
I had that stuff.
The chopper stuff was really, it was cooler. When I came along, it was more the adventure. You got the oranges and yellows and all that stuff, which I thought was really cool and fun.
Yeah,
so,
that's
the shark.
The 70s haircuts too.
Yeah, the mummy's tomb.
They got the mummy's tomb. They got those little jewels that always got lost. And
remember I had the comic books and the records.
Yeah,
you could read the comic book G.I. Joe and the Mummy's Tomb, and then there was the little 45, and you'd put that on. You could listen to it.
And wasn't it really floppy? The 45 was real thin.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it was a hard. Was it a hard? It wasn't like a good hard plastic one. It was.
I can't remember. I can't remember if it was or not.
I had one called the Seawolf that too. It was a submarine. It was a white vehicle or whatever. Yeah. And I remember filling up the big.
One that came with the shark.
There was a shark. This one had a squid with it, but and it had a comic that came with it, which was really cool. But I filled up the basement industrial tub in the basement, like the giant one, because the tub didn't do it for me.
Well, speaking of, as Graham was talking about his G.I. Joe, I bought the second generation that came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Up in my studio up here, so I have this. See up there? There's my little that's just like a little landing, and I'm on the top floor of my house. So I have him. He was just like up against the wall, right by that the pilot. That's the pilot. And I look at it, I'm like, wait a minute, he's all crusty. And if you look at him, he melted. He was swimming in Chernobyl, in the waters of Chernobyl. Look at
yeah. That's the guy who was at the Bikini Atoll and they told him he didn't get out. He didn't get out of the water.
Bikini Atoll G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, they should make one like that. Have his face melting off and everything.
Yeah.
So which one? Hey, do you guys have like the plastic hair or the lifelike hair? The ones like
I have both.
I have both. I have a bunch of
we had kind of both of them, but mostly my brother and I had this one.
Yeah. I got into the Joes when my neighbor he had a whole collection. This was back in the 60s, so it was before the adventure team. So it was all the military ones, and there was the Foot Locker, and I showed that one on the screen last week. Had the Foot Locker in it with the 2 different levels, and you could put all his equipment in there. I mean, it was so awesome. It's like as a kid, I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. They had the space capsule too. I had that.
Oh,
that was the holy grail.
Capsule.
My brothers had those. I remember, but I only saw it in slides. But
I never saw that. My cousin might have had one, and I remember my uncle gave me some of my cousin's G.I. Joe stuff. My cousin was born in like 78, so he's like 6 years older than me.
Okay,
so pissed off, and came over, and I had to give him all his G.I. Joe stuff back.
You mean he was born in 68?
No, I'm born in 68. Sorry, he graduated in 78. He's born in 1960.
Oh, okay.
So he's born in 1960. Yeah, so he's born in 1960. I was born in 66. So he's older. He doesn't want it. So my uncle's like, yeah, Billy, take these. You got a G.I. Joe? Take Tony's stuff. I'm like, oh my God. And he came home and he had a conniption. He was still young,
Right.
And then my mother's like, you got to give me stuff back.
You got to give it back.
I'm like, shit, but he didn't have that space. It was a Mercury capsule, right? Because it only fit one. Joe.
Yep. Yeah. It looks like Alan Shepard's.
Yeah, that's like the holy grail, man. You could play Virgil Grissom and have it sync.
Or when you were done with it, you put lighter fluid in and light it up. Too soon.
Yeah. oh my God, for the Apollo 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I have to get the bell. Hang on.
Get the bell. Ding, ding.
Too soon.
I'm trying to remember. I know my brothers had. I think they had that capsule. They also had a helicopter, but I think it was black or something like that.
The helicopter was yellow. It was an adventure team helicopter.
Well, that I know. I had that one, but I thought there was an older one before that, which was black.
I don't remember the military one. There was a Jeep. I know that.
Yeah, I got a Jeep actually. So I'm sitting over here.
Yeah, I got a sick 1/6 scale. If you look at this, that is the helicopter. That's the 21st Century Toys, and that's a full size figure. So that's like a 12-inch figure. Let me hit him with this light. Let's see if you see him better. That's a little bird helicopter. Look.
Oh, I see it now.
If I can hang on, let me take this rifle and.
Was that a G.I. Joe?
No, it's 21st Century Toys. Look at that bad boy.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Is that a Huey?
No, it's a little bird.
Little bird. Okay. Cool.
Oh, okay.
That's that. Sorry. I know we're getting off subject here.
Pastmaster Dan says, God, I'm older than all these guys, I bet. I don't know. I was born in 62, Dan.
65.
66. So
we got the 60s covered.
So yeah.
Oh, you guys are baby boomers. I'm the first Gen Z, Gen X. I'm the first Gen Xer with 66. Yeah.
You're 64, Dan?
65.
65. No, Dan, 64 is the cutoff year for baby boomers. Yeah.
So you're 6. So we're all Gen Xers, or I'm a Gen Xer and Dan's a Gen Xer. Are you? Or you're a baby boomer?
I'm a boomer.
Oh, okay. You know who's not a boomer? Little Billy.
Pastmaster Dan says he's 61. Little Billy's not a boomer.
That's great. Except I want to lose some weight before I do get mine done.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I had a big sweatshirt on, but still.
Can you suck it in when they take it? That's what I would do.
I didn't even think of. I should have. Andy's all stuck looking. And I just went in like. Well, the first time I did it, I had a judge pistol in my hand. I was like this, and then I'm like, oh, am I gonna have this action figure me holding a pistol? I said, maybe not, So I went back. I said, can I retake it? And then I just jumped in. They're like, all right, get in. So I jumped the line and just went. It's like, okay, you're done. And I split. So I should have. I didn't think it. thinking far enough to suck in or anything like that. But next time,
you better make sure nobody gets a hold of that though, because then they can do the voodoo thing with you.
Yeah, I could see my, especially white, right?
Get the pins in there.
Yeah, if I come in with the pins all over it, and I'm like, wow.
That'd be Halloween. Maybe you could do a decoration for Halloween. You should get 2 of them and have one with pins in it.
Oh my God! See, that's why I'm really hoping that we do that Fayetteville Comic-Con. I hope they have us all there because that's the week before Halloween or 2 weeks before Halloween.
True.
So it's perfect for that time.
Yeah.
Graham, you should have heard Jimmy Palmiotti, is it? Yeah.
Palmiotti.
He was talking about putting those figure of that in his bed. And, and when his wife wakes up, it's this little guy there. Oh my gosh.
Something's wrong.
The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all the Incredible Shrinking Man at a certain point after that.
Yep, no shit.
But hey,
for certain areas of shrinking, but
yeah. Oh man. So let's talk a little bit about the campaigns and about the crowdfunding and the decisions that go along with that. I've always it seems to be there's always camps. There's McDonald's, Burger King, there's Coca-Cola, Pepsi, there's Marvel, DC, and never the twain shall meet. Some people are so entrenched in their loyalty to brands that they won't cross over. And the same is true, I think, in crowdfunding as well. There are people from Indiegogo that will not support Kickstarter campaigns, and there's people in Kickstarter campaigns that will not support Indiegogo. So what is a creator supposed to do? And I think the answer is you have to be loyal to your customers.
Right.
You have to be loyal to your backers, not to a platform, because platform regimes change, just like governments and everything else. And they could be your friend one day and they could be your enemy the next. And so, my way of thinking is to reach out to as many people as possible. And get as a businessman, I want as many people as possible to read my books. It's as simple and selfish as that. And so by crossing over and I'm hoping to reach out to new people that either prefer one platform, whether it be ideology or the ability to make payments is easier, whatever it may be. I want to get them in on all this good stuff that we're doing too.
You guys do you know John Malin's status now on Kickstarter? Because initially, obviously, they were really, against it because of the terrible treatment that they had received.
Right, and those are valid. Those are valid arguments.
Now, but isn't the Wicked Witch, whoever it was, she's gone though? Does that make a difference? I don't know the latest with John, but I do respect John's opinion. If on his If
John's one of the kings,
he's one of the guys who got the slings and arrows, and as Billy, I think you got a lot of that too.
I wasn't even aware of what happened to John. I wasn't really doing it then. But yeah, he got screwed over bad. And you had some lunatics, calling him, saying, this insane stuff about him, and without verifying it, they canceled his campaign.
Yeah,
or they denied him. I think his campaign might have even been live, and then they canceled it.
Right
on him, and he's rightfully so to be pissed. But all those people from when I got in 2 years ago or whatever, 2.5 years ago, all those people that they were all gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to the Green Laser who wrote this comment that he won't support Kickstarter because of the political gatekeeping, it's not the same as it used to be. We're in total agreement with you that they were a platform that did that. But not so much anymore because a lot of those people have gone. If we discover that in our business dealings with them, then certainly we will let everybody know, and we won't go down that model again. But as an experiment right now, it's happening because they have cleaned house and removed a lot of those gatekeepers.
Yeah, and we will know.
We'll
be the first ones to know.
It won't take long.
Well, I wonder, would Ethan and John go into Kickstarter now? Would they, if they have, all these things, new management means everything. So if these people who are who are doing awful things are gone, well, that may be, you know, why then, as you say, resist this second wave of customers. I mean, I'm wondering if they will do that now. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, because I've heard Ethan say that, you know, the door is not closed on it at all. You know, why not explore all options? Heck, why not, you know, check out Zoop or whatever the, I'm just fixing my camera.
Well, actually, I didn't let those gatekeeping go to Zoop. The one who was really causing a lot of problems there. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
You're right, because SDA says Zoop is poop.
Yeah, because I remember, you know, Ethan really bashing Zoop for that reason. So he's like, oh, you know, he didn't like it, but yeah. I know people went to Zoop, and you know, that was, you know, friends of mine. So they.
Yeah, well, I've never hid who I was. You know, I wear my, you know, my colors on my sleeve, and my heart on my sleeve, so everyone, you know, pretty much knows where I stand on things. And we, you know, we got all three, and we've done. This is our 6th Kickstarter. In the past, is it 5th or 6th? Maybe 5th, maybe 6th. I don't remember. It's our 10th crowdfunding campaign altogether in the past 3 years, and we got recognized immediately. And I can even share my screen to show you why I do Kickstarter. Rule number 1: happy wife, happy life. For all you married men out there, or people planning on being married, because if your wife wants to go on Kickstarter, she's adamant about it. I personally would love to be on just one platform. It'd be a lot easier for her.
It would be a lot easier.
Because it is. You're running a whole nother campaign. You really are.
And it's very stressful.
Yes, it is. It is. But the rewards, though, you know, like I said, if I can share, and I know it's your show, I don't want to.
You don't want to leave money on the table.
Right.
That's for one thing, because you know, like in the case of Giant-Sized Two-Fisted Manly Tales, the Indiegogo backers did the heavy lifting. They funded the book. Now, what I'm doing for my backers is I'm expanding it by putting it out to Kickstarter, because I want to, you know, the campaign is slowed. You know, we're actually, we picked up quite a few Indiegogo backers today as well, and it pushed it over 118,000. But the goal is to reach 150 so that the Michael Golden cover will get upgraded to hardcover. So this is my effort to help my Indiegogo backers get to that level.
Yeah, because your Indiegogo backers will benefit from this. You're opening up to a whole other audience, and without any work on their part, or for them to have to fork over any more money, they're getting those rewards. That's the same thing we do with the Kickstarter, because we call it our no fan left behind campaign strategy. And we will our campaigns mutually benefit one another. So our Kickstarter campaign backers benefit from the Indiegogo backers, what they did, and vice versa. Because the Kickstarter people are the ones that put our book over, 120 total. Actually, we're more than that now. We're over 100 and we might be close to 140 grand on it now. But here's the testament, Graham, is that this is in less than 24 hours.
Right.
Campaign. So we brought in 335 backers. Now, we were live on Indiegogo exclusively for 2 weeks. Right, there's a 2-week anniversary of when we launched, and you know, we still brought in another 335 backers and that amount of money. Now, and the thing is, who could say no to that? Because that money right there is all going to go towards the next She-Book Gatecrasher, right? For all the art costs or the coloring costs or ordering the supplies, all that stuff. Because that's what you do. You put it back into the company,
right?
I'll take a paycheck, you know.
I wanted to answer Randy Howell's comment here, who is, by the way, Kickstarter backer #1 for Giant-Sized Two-Fisted Manly Tales. Well done, Randy. There's a bell for you. Indiegogo is based in San Francisco. I'm sure the staff is as woke as it comes. We only care if the management runs a tight ship. And that Indiegogo seems to be much more capitalist in its views than Kickstarter was. But let's face it, they are in San Diego, and you're probably right. The staff is very woke. Kickstarter is based in Brooklyn, which is like the opposite side of the country, with the exact same type of ideology, if you will. So, you know, I think that's true in a lot of these corporations that are out there right now. But if they're smart and they're good businessmen, they're going to think of the capitalist approach of things, and if it makes them money, they're going to go with it. It's when you get into that gatekeeping that you run into problems.
Yeah, and again, who cares? I don't care what someone's political ideology is that I'm doing business. They want to
I
buy
don't either.
I'll sell my book to anyone. I don't care. Or
Right.
or on a platform, and some people were saying, about the yeah, but why put money in the pockets of people, why put money in the pockets of people who hate you, right? And the way I look at it is there's nothing better than having people who hate you put money in your pockets, because we're making a lot more money than they are, than they say the people that the Kickstarter people, the Indiegogo, they're staff members. They make a percentage, whether it's 8% or 10%. I don't know what percent it is. Maybe but we're doing it's a business partnership, and just like Michael Corleone said, it's not personal, business.
Right, and keep your enemies closer.
Yeah,
keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer.
And I gotta tell you, I love our Kickstarter backers. The platform, everyone that we've run into in Kickstarter who has helped us. They've reached out to us. What can we do to help you? What do you need from us? What can we do? They've been incredibly helpful, and it's been a joy working with them, just like Indiegogo.
Yeah, you want to expand the family. Yeah. And it's wonderful if you can reach out to people that don't see your campaigns, because for whatever reason, they're just not fans of Indiegogo's platform. I mean, Kickstarter does have a bigger platform. And I'm told, I don't know this, but I'm told that there's easier payments, that they accept payments easier or something. I don't know if there's truth to that, but that could be a very legitimate reason why people, stick to one platform over another.
And plus they have such a bigger name recognition. They really do. We hadn't even heard of Indiegogo until Ethan told us about it.
Right.
Like, what is I'm on Indiegogo. And then I learned all about John, about Richard, all that stuff. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is this? And Debbie's like, well, that's not us, and again, our last, the cool thing is that we're like 10 grand shy of where in one day on Indiegogo, on Kickstarter, than we were for the whole 30 days of the previous, of the Haikyo, of this book's predecessor.
Really?
Yeah. So we made 43. I'm looking at it, put it on the board. So we made $43,169 on Kickstarter for Haikyo, the predecessor to this book. We're already on Kickstarter now. We're already at 43,610. So in one day, we've made, we're just $10,000 shy of what we made for the entire 29 days or whatever it was last time.
Well, that goes to building your audience and having that audience be satisfied with that one product, and then telling their friends and coming back immediately, so quickly for the next product. And that's a high five to you and Deb, Billy, for your great fulfillment skills and producing a quality product. There's no two ways about it.
And that's what I love about it. I'm sorry if I love the idea that your fans hold you accountable to it, and these platforms. Mm-hmm. You've got to deliver. You'll get letters from them or messages from them. Hey, we received this complaint, blah blah blah. But the customers, again, they are the reason why we're here, and that our readers have so much faith in us that they're giving us money, knowing a book's not going to come out for months. And they allow us to produce these books. Mm-hmm. And if they do that on their faith, you better deliver. Mm-hmm. And again, it doesn't have to be within, like Brian Polito delivers his books. I think it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, tops, everything. Mm-hmm. When the campaign launches, like a month after his campaign ends, everyone has their books. That's why he's doing 4 or 5 a year. Right. But not everyone has to be like Brian. Not everyone can be like Brian. But I think also your backers, if they know, look, this book is going to take me a year. Mm-hmm.
Brian's got a whole team working with him.
Yeah. Brian's he's not drawing it, is he? No. Okay, well that's a little easier than
like that. When I do my books, like Giant Size Two-Fisted Manly Tale is a anthology that other people working on. I'm acting as publisher, editor, art director, all that stuff. But when I'm doing my Nolan verse books, that takes me a year because I'm doing everything. I'm writing it, I'm illustrating it, and I'm art directing and publishing and all that kind of stuff. So that definitely takes a lot more time. It's also a lot more satisfying, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I just felt the time was right for this kind of story, or this kind of a book to celebrate, what it means to be a man, and celebrate masculinity in a culture and a society that is constantly putting it down. And as I said this morning when we launched, that it's not a celebration of misogyny. That's completely different. Misogyny has no place in masculinity.
Right.
I'm the father of 3 daughters, and I've been married 36 years. There's to the same woman. So those are 2 separate things. We can be masculine and be men, and we're knuckleheads sometimes, and we talk shit, and but we also defend, we also fight, we also do what's needed to
provide for your family.
Financially provide, and all that kind of stuff for your family. And those are the kind of things that get lost in popular culture now, as men are treated like buffoons and knuckleheads. And in their effort to raise up women, they're really putting them down, because they're not allowing them to be women. They're just replacing men and putting them as the knuckleheads of every situation. So that was the reason that this whole book came about. And I reached out to some talented people, Dan Lawlis included here, because he did a kick-ass cover.
Great
and he's going to be sharing with us some of the starter sketches and stuff like that for us, right, Dan?
Yeah. I just want to say that the idea of the hero rescuing the girl, that's a good fantasy for boys to because when you get married and stuff, and you're sort of rescuing your wife, you gotta take care of her when she gets pregnant. You're kind of coming in there as the hero in a lot of ways. So I think it's very healthy fantasy to have that man, the conquering fighter with a sword and shield. You kind of got to do that in a sense. It may be not literal sense, but you got to pay some bills. You got to bring home the bacon. You got to all that stuff. It's like fighting, it's a good fantasy. So, I've been married, it's going to be 27 years, got a couple daughters, and it's like, I didn't affect me. I read Conan, all that stuff. And I was just like, fight the bad guy, stand up against the, I was, my wife came wrong, rescue the lady, kind of, it was that those romantic stories are great stories.
Yeah, they're wonderful inspirations for young boys in how to grow up and be men. And you as a father of daughters, and me as a father of daughters, we're the template for which they're going to judge relationships with men the rest of their lives. So we need to be good role models for them. Because you want the best for them. You don't want them, stuck in bad relationships with toxic men and misogynists and all these assholes.
You want to be an example. You want to be their ideal, and you got to learn that from somewhere. You to have become the ideal man. That the best man you can be.
Right,
and you had to learn that from somewhere too. Again, because unfortunately there are drunk fathers out there. There are abusive dads and stuff like that. So, you look to other places. You could look to films. You look to heroes in cinema. Look at Theodore Roosevelt type people.
Right.
Make them your role models to be. This is the kind of man I want to be. I like the way this person conducts their life. I think this is, I want to be like Errol Flynn and Robin Hood. That sort of thing. You want to do the right thing, and then you meet these, these amazing partners in your life, and that they want, again, like I said, my mother raised 6 kids, she's as a widow. And I saw all the work she had, and everything she did. And I'm like, I don't want my wife to have to be like that. I've got to pull my fair share of the dynamic. And that's what it is. I mean,
you really hit a good point there, Billy, when you said that, some people come from broken families, so they need that inspiration from other places. My parents ended up divorced. My father was an alcoholic, and he's verbally and sometimes physically abusive. And so I got a firsthand view at what a bad marriage looked like, and I knew that's not what I wanted. Now my grandparents all had great solid marriages, so that was something to look forward to. But then there was also, as you said, other things. The other media and stuff, when the heroic ideal was pushed, where men could and heroes were not necessarily completely black and white, but they stood up, and there was loyalty and all that kind of stuff, that I took that in as to how I wanted my relationships as well. So that's why this stuff is important. The doing stories like this in media is you don't know how many people you touch with it.
That's true. Yeah, my dad was had a really tough upbringing. He was adopted by people who ran moonshine, and then he was in World War II. Billy, I got to show you this picture. I love this picture, and this is a picture of my dad. If you can share it, hang on a second.
Sure.
This is in China after World War II, and my dad is here, seated. But that was his, his tank. He was in here.
If you see, that tank is made for amphibious operations, because if you look behind it, you see those stacks. There's 2 big stacks up there. Those are the exhaust stacks, so the tank can be partially submerged.
Yeah, Billy, because if the water got into the distributor, it would choke out.
Yep.
Billy, he was a Marine in Guam, Saipan, and Okinawa.
Wow.
And then that bulldozer thing in the front, that's probably to clear mines. Because they had minefields, and they would build these things, and that would be pushing it, and they would set it off. But that bulldozer, blade in the front would protect the tank and the crew from the teller mines and things like that, the anti-tank mines and all. So
he wasn't a CB, was he, Dan?
No.
Yeah, and also that tank looks like, to me, if you see it's up armored, if you see the front behind the second guy on the left, behind his head, you see that extra armor, it's slanted. That tank armor is slanted. If you see earlier models of M4 Shermans, they had the round armor. They up armored it up, but then that's also up gunned. So that probably has that 76 millimeter gun, like in Fury. If the longer gun, it's like a British 5-pounder gun or 3-pounder, whatever we switched to them because our 75 millimeter guns were not powerful enough to penetrate, the German armor.
Right.
And then they just started making them all like that. And that's why you can see that's a late model tank. So that, like I said, that's 44, 45.
Yeah, so this is in China after the war.
So that tank was probably built in 45 or late 44. And that's really interesting. Like I said, you got that because of this, the old gun on that, the 75 millimeter gun. It didn't need that brace to hold it up because it was a shorter barreled gun. So that's a really great.
That's a great picture.
Yeah,
I love this photo. I love this photo not just because it's my dad's in it, but also it's just especially that one guy in his stance. That is American. Heck
yeah, he's like Frazetta.
Exactly. Yeah. He just looks so damn cool. They're all pretty cool. You got but this is America. You've got the kind of the bad boy there. You got the warmth of America. You got my dad's kind of goody two shoes.
Yeah, and, but then you got the buddies because you love each other. This is his crew. This is his tank crew.
Right.
So you have a tank commander, you have your gunner, you have your loader, and you have your driver and assistant driver. If you saw Fury. Yeah. So
my dad was a tank commander in it.
Family. That's their family right there for 3 years or whatever. And you love guys like that. It's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great picture. Is your dad still with us, Dan?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Here's a story that I remember on 9/11, and I don't agree with this, but my mother called me, and my father was my stepfather was a World War II veteran. And she said, when that happened, and we've learned that they were hijackers, these little guys that took over. And she said, this could never have happened 30 years ago. Do you think your father and his friends would let these men stand up with blade, with box cutters and saying, and fake bombs saying they're going to take over this plane and they're going to sit down and be quiet? No way. Look at that dude on the right. That dude on the right would have kicked open the door in the rear and chucked them out by their short pants.
Yeah, I remember actually I was with my dad at 9/11. He was up over helping watch the kids, and it was interesting to see his reaction. He was like, "I want to get them." That's what he said basically. I want to get these guys.
Yeah. I'll
bet. That's a normal reaction. He wasn't an aggressive, violent person. It was just sort of like, this is what you did,
Yeah, he was a Marine though, so don't F with a Marine.
Yeah. He had some underlying violence.
He doesn't say. He never said much about it. He never said much about it. I know it sounded probably pretty awful and stuff. He only told me one story where they came to his barracks and said, "Anybody know how to drive a truck?" And he thought, "Oh, I'm going to drive supplies." Yeah. And so they took him to this big field and they had all these tanks. And he was like, "Oh man." Because the survival rate was not good in these tanks.
No, it wasn't.
Their underbellies were weak, and so they were really vulnerable to fire.
They call them Ronsons from the Ronson lighters, because they would just blow up. Then somebody come in there and change the motor and wash it out with all the parts, seal up, weld a new hole, weld a metal plate onto the old hole and give it to the new guys.
Rob Younce was a leatherneck.
Oh,
and he said, "Semper Fi to your dad and all my fellow jarheads."
Thank you.
You know where they got the term leatherneck from?
I do. Yeah, I tell you.
You do know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you tell. It's your show.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They got it when they were fighting in was it Libya?
Yeah, against the Barbie pirates.
Yeah. Yeah. And they used to wear leather around their necks to prevent swords.
Yeah.
From getting them, because they were hacking away with swords. So the Marines wore these leather gauntlets around their neck, and so that's where the term leatherneck comes from.
Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. But Rob knew it.
Yeah, that's a good thing to know. During the zombie apocalypse too. Get yourself.
That's true. Leather up.
You leather up.
Can't bite you.
Yeah. Maybe that was the origin before the Marines. There was the zombies they had to fight.
Right?
You never know.
So do you have
I got it right underneath here.
You got some stuff, right?
Yeah. This is the evolution of the cover. The first three are just gesture drawings that I did, quick images. I like this one, but I kept them coming. This one, I thought that's a lot of foreshortening. It's kind of dynamic, but it doesn't. It's a difficult shot to do. And then Then I went for just a good standard punch, and I kind of liked that, but it wasn't exciting enough. Mm-hmm. Then I got this one, and I kind of like that one. And then I finished it up a little bit. This is what I delivered to you. I said, "Hey, here it is. Here's my cover idea."
Right.
And you came back to me and said, "It's just got to go right. It's got to go over the top. It can't be just a punch. It's got to be something's got to be going like crazy with it." So you came back with this sketch here. And I thought, okay, it wasn't an easy sketch.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So then Graham, you said, well, how about something like this? And
yeah. So this is the interesting thing when you look at this is see that leg and these two legs and the way they're put together. Mm-hmm. That was really worked out for me. So I have when I did my final, which is here, I had that same leg positioning and for that stroke, for that hit. So that was what one of them was neat. Is like I had this thing sort of worked out partially because you're an artist, how things move and how things go, and all I had to do was kind of finish it up and put my.
I was being John Romita, doing cover sketches.
Oh yeah, okay.
I just love that smashing that filthy hippie in the face.
All right, then you could show the final one. Wait, well, let me see. I'll bring it up. Hang on a second.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, in the first finished one, you didn't have the guitar shattering.
Yeah,
and the wires busting out.
Yeah,
and then you added that stuff, and that made it perfect.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, you said, but the thing is, I've since kind of learned that is not with this Les Paul. It's solid wood.
Yeah.
So this guy would be dead, basically.
Yeah. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's all about the power and the imagery.
But it's the way I drew it, it's breaking apart as a hollow shell.
What's the saying? If I can curse, fuck around and find out. Well, he fucked around and he found out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey guys, what do you think the Dave Chappelle attacker getting just did you see that today?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh. And they just those guys.
Hey, thank you, Will Smith, for normalizing that shit.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be so normal. Did you see what they did to that guy? You see him being taken away.
His arm.
Oh man, he was just.
But he had a knife. The dude had a knife.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, somebody could have gotten seriously hurt. So you know what? Fuck him. I'm glad they busted his arm and
and
that's busted his jaw too.
That's how it's got to be. You got to they have to learn that there are consequences. What's to stop anybody from robbing? Like I said, you have in San Francisco and in New York State now, in New York City, up to a certain amount of money that you could rob, and you get caught, then you don't go to jail. It's a misdemeanor to pay a fine.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So what the hell? Somebody made a joke that he went to the gas station and he filled up his tank, cost him $100. He drove off. Cops caught him, made him go to court. And he had to pay the ticket, and the ticket was $55. So he got $45 worth of free gas.
Oh, jeez.
He ran away. He ran away with $100 worth of gas, and the ticket was only $55 for paying. And that's just the world we live in. It's so absurd, crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's the cover with the without the stuff on it.
Oh yeah, without the trade dress. Yeah.
But actually, I like it. I like having the comic book lettering and stuff. And in fact, Graham, I don't know if you got any pages yet. I want to see them as soon as you get them of the lettering, the pages I did lettered.
I haven't gotten them back yet.
Okay, with sound effects and stuff. And everybody wants to see a kabong with a kabong or something.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to see the kabong from from Quick Jaw McGraw or whatever something.
You could have a word balloon variant print, and he's saying something hippie, filthy hippie. Take that, hippie.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a like if when we hit 120,000, maybe we'll do like a mini print and do the alternate and put a word balloon in like that. Suck on this, hippie. That would be fun,
and people would love that. And I'm telling you, that would help your numbers to get to 125,000. Everyone gets a free mini print.
Well, actually, that is 125 is a stretch goal. The Indiegogo stretch goal is 125, and it is a mini print. So we're at 118, I think, and change now, closing in on 119. So it's not that far down the roads, guys. So get on board and let's get that mini print out to everybody.
Heck yeah,
yeah. Or do it on Kickstarter because it all goes into the same coffers. And we'll get that done. It'd be awesome.
Here.
Everybody's seen this first page, haven't they? Probably, mostly.
Yeah. I've shared that one, and I shared another one from when the guy's like hitting on the girl.
Yeah,
you can share whatever you want to share, Dan.
There's the second page.
Oh, there we go. Look at this. Hadn't shared that, so I love that second panel. Yeah. Where these guys, just their body language and their faces tell you these assholes aren't here for good things.
Yeah, they're there for trouble. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love this girl.
Oh yes, gorgeous.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, you do some nice babes there, buddy. That Al Capone vampire cover you did for J.C. Vaughn is exceptional too.
I could show that.
To answer your question, you got the shirt here. Which cover am I getting? I can't remember. Are the books tied in with the shirts, or I can't remember if they were. But if they are, then you'd be getting the Michael Golden cover, and that's the one that would be upgraded to hardcover if we hit 150. But I'm not sure. and I could be wrong because I've got 2 different campaigns, and it's been a while since I built up the Indiegogo one, so I'm not positive whether books come with the shirt tier or not. You'll have to check and look into that.
Yeah, Billy. Here's JC's cover, wraparound cover for his.
That's great. I love that.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
And here's an interior page for his retro mariner story I did for him as well.
Oh man.
Anyways, yeah, I'm working with with JC, and do you guys know a guy named Scott Braden?
Scott Braden?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Anyways,
No,
he's got the character Kent Menace, and he's working with JC and another guy named Marty Grosser, and they're going through American mythology comics, and so it's a fun character. I'm enjoying working on that. So I'm actually going to write a sort of co-write a story. So it's kind of
cool.
Good, yeah.
Marcus Killaroo says, I think I like Dan's cover better than Golden's.
Oh.
Ooh, nice.
Them fighting words.
They're both good.
They're great. Really they're both great.
Oh, by the way, I'll show this too. I think I can show this without getting in trouble. I just delivered my second swimsuit issue image for Phil Diaz.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just a close up. This is a clip. It's not the whole thing. So, but
oh boy, look at that.
So I think it's okay to show, but there's a lot more to it. Obviously, this one features AR-15 orangutan. He's the orangutan with a AR-15, basically.
Nice. Is that the name of a series?
It's the name of the character.
AR-15 orangutan.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so great.
So.
That is so awesome.
Man, that's tremendous.
AR-15 orangutan. I love crazy stuff like that.
So he's swinging and he's holding her, so it's fun.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I want to see the images. They're starting to come in now, and but I don't know how much. It's like Phil was saying. I don't know how much to share, because if you sort of share everything, then why buy the book? But
right.
It's not like a story.
About that, right? Today, Art was talking about that. Like, what do you share?
Right.
Because you worry you don't want to share too much, but then again, do people care? Does it help if you show cool images, or maybe even panels, maybe, or like things like this? Detail.
Well, Ethan's philosophy is that they've already bought the book, so he shares all kinds of art,
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is that it does generate interest, from people who haven't seen it yet, but. It's really a fine line to walk. What do you show without, you don't want to show the ending of something where, Rick and the inspector are walking away thinking that a beautiful friendship is going to happen. You don't want to do that.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm always curious about that. That is interesting that he said if they already bought the book, why not show more? But you don't want to give away stuff, though, too.
Right.
Yeah, don't do the spoilers. But I think a solution to that would be to zoom in on panels rather than showing a whole page, because then you see the story. But when you just see a panel or here and there and whatever, it's not that big a deal,
Yeah. Or even a tier. You could so that you have some continuity. Would be fine. And you just some action scenes, that kind of stuff. I think that's fair game. The problem I have with this particular book showing stuff is that because there's only 10-page stories, if I show, 3 pages from your story, Dan, I'm showing a third of the book,
exactly.
a third of that story, and I would love to be able to show more, but, these are stories that get in, get out, so
yeah. I put this panel up the other day. It's just a single panel. It doesn't show much.
No, it doesn't give away anything, but it does give you a sense of the vibe.
Yeah, it's happening. It's going down. Yeah,
of what's going down. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Hey
Billy, now your sheet campaign, I love that scene. Now, you're doing the layouts, or you're doing?
I do. No, I'm doing. They're basically Okay, so I had hired Garnio Lima to ink me. And then he came back and it was a time thing or something like that. I said, you know what? Why don't you just try this page and try pencils? You know, just clean up the pen, do finishes for me. Because I do really very detailed roughs. You know, they're like, I can show you, they are pages.
Yeah, put them up.
Yeah, let me go grab one. Hang on.
Hey, speaking of roughs,
he had them on his screen. I didn't even get up and go pick them up.
Sorry, I'll just grab the book. No, then I have to go into my Dropbox and all that crap. And
it's even worse than that, Randy. They're not hipsters; they are frat boys in the story. So,
yeah. So here's if you show okay. So basically, this is.
Wait, let me put you up on. Let me put you on solo layout here.
I don't want to get too much away. So yeah. So basically, so that's what it's like. You know, it's a page. And then he'll go in. You know, Gardenio goes in, takes it, and then he just really works it. I'm trying to find a page that that I might have shared already on the.
Yeah, let's see the page where she's kicking that guy in the face.
Oh yeah, that's a good one because I shared that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
kick him in the face, and then he dumps her in the toilet bowl. All right, here you go. So like I said, so there's the page where she's he bursts in. It's not really doing it justice. It's a lot more detailed. And the light. Let me take it out of here. Sorry, I'll take it out. Look at me.
Yeah, there's a lot of reflection.
Yeah, look how unprofessional I am, for goodness sakes. Yeah, because I don't want to show the scene ends. There you go. So they're basically like this. Even this seems washed out. Maybe it's my lighting, but because it's a lot more detailed than that. And then you see here's where she's kicking him.
Mm-hmm.
And see, and then he grabs her, flips her, and he dumps her head in the toilet. And and if anyone's been on a Long Island Railroad train, that is not a pleasant experience.
Yeah.
So then I give it to Gardenio, and then Gardenio finishes them literally with pencils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah, I said that was an interesting look. It
wants to look different, than and because I loved ink books, of course, but it makes it gives a nice watercolor effect.
Yeah.
To it, and so that's what we sold. We sold 60 pages of my roughs that's in the rough cut edition, and then a cover, which is a full cover.
What's interesting is you could not.
Oops.
With that storytelling in one of the big books in Marvel DC, you couldn't have someone getting their head smashed in the toilet,
Yeah,
so
right? Especially your heroine. Oh, it gets worse.
Oh, man.
It gets good, and so that's a lot of fun. And so that's basically my process, and I'm almost done. I'm on page 55 now. The page it's 60 pages. So in 29 days, this book is going to the printer for proofing.
Mm-hmm.
That's my goal for Gardenio to finish the last 10 pages. And Brian Miller's right behind as the colorist, so he's just knocks them out.
Hey Billy, what year did the original sheet come out in? When
1994, March 23rd, 1994.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out where I was in my career when that came out, and I was on Barbed Wire at the Dark Horse.
Oh
in 1994.
Yep.
So then it was Agents of Law, then I did some Conan stuff, and that's when I left. I was in from 87 to 97 in comics. Then I had to have a family and bring in actual money,
Yeah. And that's what we've talked about that, like on the professionals is, and even last night a little bit. I don't know if Graham, you were still there when we did that.
Yeah, I was there.
And and you wonder can you make a living working for the big two, say, and support a family, a young family today, unless you are
I couldn't.
Amanda or Greg Capullo or Scott Snyder.
Well, I was getting paid. I was getting $100 a page, I think it was, and it was taking me more than a day to even to illustrate. So we're talking about $400 a week. We're talking about $20,000 a year. You can't. That's not going to work.
No.
So I started looking into storyboards, and I had a buddy who's a photographer, and I said, "Hey, what do you know about the storyboards?" And he said, "Hey, I got an art director right here now at the studio. Come on over and talk to him." And I took my stuff over there, and he's like, "Yo, you're great. I got a job for you. 6 or 8 frames, one night, $50 a frame."
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like now I can make a living. I can be around my kids. I didn't want to be missing all that. And so that's just, the way it went. But
I'm sure the more you did it, the quicker you got and more efficient.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but they don't have
working
to be good.
Comics is a lot like working in professional baseball. Yeah, you've got Derek Jeter, but there's a lot of players that will never be Derek Jeter. So, you might have your Greg Capullos who are at the top of the heap, but you've got a lot of guys in AAA and they ain't making shit. But they're doing it because they love baseball. And it's the same in comics. You get these people that, you really can't support yourself, as you said, Billy, unless you're on those upper tier books, or have very low expenses.
Right. And the sad thing is, you got a lot of those guys like that. They got the biggest mouths on social media, and they'll defend Marvel and DC to the very end. I'm like, dude, you're not making crap.
Right.
They treat you like shit. Why are you defending them? Why are you attacking us for trying to make a living by producing our own creator own content?
And they have no job security either.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's like right now maybe they're doing great, but all of a sudden some new hot artist comes along. It's bye your career.
Hey, there was nobody hotter than Kirby at Marvel in the '60s, and look what happened to him.
Yeah.
He got fucked, shucked, and thrown back to sea.
Yeah, didn't that kind of happen with Gene Colan too, to a certain extent?
Yeah, it happened to all of those guys, with the exception of Buscema. It also happened to, of course, Herb Trimpe.
Yeah,
and I
before that with Herb. Remember, before that with Herb, they then forced Herb to draw in a different style, like the hip Image style.
Yeah, they were telling I don't know if they forced him or if he was trying to do that to try and stay in the game, but it was a horrible mistake for him to do that. I remember during the Image days, being at San Diego Con, and I was talking to Jim Aparo, and because I could see all these Image guys were just killing it. They had these huge lines and everything, and I said, Jim, you think I ought to change my style? And he looked at me and said, no, don't do it. Do art your way, and your fans will find you. Don't try and please somebody else. And he was right. It stayed with me, because that style, is very dated. Yeah.
And only a few guys could pull it off because they did it first. It's like, want to be like Jackson Pollock and copying Jackson Pollock paintings. Jackson Pollock did it first, so that's why it works for him. You doing it, you look like a Jackson Pollock ripoff artist.
Sure.
It's almost like pop art in a way. Todd's style, Rob's style. I love these. I love these eclectic styles. I really do. But it only works for them. Right?
Then Eric Larson kind of tried to do Todd McFarlane that basically, and it just didn't. Todd McFarlane's Todd McFarlane. There's only the one and only. It's like
right, because it was more than just the style. It was his way of telling a story, as well, which was different for the time.
Oh yeah, very different.
Yep.
I have to say I'm not a big fan of the whole Image thing and that stylized art. I do like the traditional stuff. That was one of the things that when I left comic books in '97, I was like, this is not for me artistically. I like the Dave Stevens, I like the Frank Frazettas, and I just, that was art to me. And this other stuff, although good and skilled, it was off brand. I saw it back then. That's why I said this is not going to work. And down the line, it's gonna. This stuff is just gimmicky. It's not really, great work.
So it seems like DC took care of Aparo. They made sure that Jim lined up with the books that were paying killer royalties at the end of his career. The Breaking of Batman's Back, that was Jim. Batman 500, that was Jim. And he made a ton of royalties on those two books. Because he deserved it. Yes, he wasn't at the top of his game at that point in his career, but that was loyalty. That was
it DC or was it the editor? Like this is things I don't. You say a company, just a name. Usually, it's somebody there.
Well, it is. Yeah, it was Danny O'Neill and Archie Goodwin, you know,
That's what I think.
who were running the bad offices that determined it, and
Right.
everybody else.
That's what I'm saying is it's people that you want to. It's people that you want to work for. You don't want to work for a company, and if you can find a person in a company, you're all right. But companies, and you can't.
Well,
be
a company
trusted.
is just a bunch of people, and it's only as good or bad as those people that are there.
Yeah.
You know, when I was at DC, it was much more familial. Jeanette Kahn, Paul Levitz, Dick Giordano, all of those people had come up through the trenches. They understood what it was like to be a freelancer before they got their corporate jobs. Now you've got people that have no idea what that's like, and they treat, you know, the freelance talent like crap as a result of that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's almost like they're gifted these jobs, these editorial, and they're not making a lot of money. These editors are not making a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's not much money in the whole industry, except for crowdfunding. That's the thing that's interesting. By the way, this is another thing that I am thankful to you guys for trailblazing this, because for the first time there's an opportunity to do really good comic books, top quality. You know, not just because a month you can't do a great comic book in a month, really.
No.
Now you can spend some time, do fantastic work, make it a decent chunk of money from it. You know, it's you know, incredible. So,
and you can get your vision out there. I mean, when I started with Hawkworld, I started with issue number 1, and I was penciling and inking the series. That was a monthly, and I think I got like 8 months in before I started falling behind. And you know, it wasn't great. You know, the turnaround time was good in one respect, is it forced me to learn speed skills as far as like inking to get the stuff in on time. But it certainly was the end and the means not quite justifying there. But now I'm working on stories that I'm writing and illustrating, and I can take whatever time I need. I took 4 days on a double page splash in Alien Alamo, that giant stampede scene where they're stampeding all the cattle. That took me 3 days to do that. The flashbacks to World War II, those 2 pages took me a week after gathering all the reference to make sure that, you know, I had all the Marine accoutrements proper and the Japanese outfits right for that point in the war.
Yeah.
You know, because the Marine outfits changed, you know, in the later part of the war versus the first part. And I wanted to make sure all that stuff was right. And I can take that time now to do that because of the generosity and the trust that our backers have in us to deliver goods. And they know that passion is going in there. When I'm taking, you know, 5 days to do 2 pages, you know, I mean, or a week to do a double page splash, you know, I mean, there's a lot of passion and thought going into that stuff. And
plus if it's crap, they're not going to come back for more. I mean, you got to keep it, you know,
right.
Give them a great product.
I don't think they want you to hurry it. You know, I mean, some people get a little, you know, anxious, you know, to get it. And I understand that. But you don't want to wait that amount of time and then get it and be disappointed, you know?
I mean, yeah, especially it is still, you know, a $25 comic book. It's got to be worth that, I think.
That's right. It's like the European model, though. You know, they'll wait. You know, the European books, and they'll have one artist, and in many times they're doing what you're doing, Dan. You know, write, pencil, ink, and color and paint. You know, they do it all, and they'll wait a year and a half for a 48-page book. But then that book is now a testament for that artist's lifetime.
Right.
And it's something that they're proud of, as opposed to rushing something out. And then you feel frustrated. And then when it gets brought to you at a convention, like, oh, and you go through like, you know, I really should have done this at that panel. It still drives me crazy to this. I do it to myself.
Yeah.
It still drives me crazy to this day, you know, that I had to rush through this. It could have been so much better. I loved, you know, blah, blah, blah. Now you have an opportunity to do it. And, you know, hopefully, Dan, you're going to start getting into this, start publishing some Lawlis comics. Sounds like a cool name. You know?
That it could be.
Yeah. And you start doing your own stuff, man. We're there for you. We'll be there with you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not in a big hurry though. You know, one thing I have to say is I'm coming into this, and you guys have done all the heavy lifting and stuff. And I've told people, I said, you know, how can I help out? You know, I want to pay my dues a little bit too. I want to, you know, I've got a boatload of skills. who can I assist in their campaigns, and I'm going to build my following in that way too, but still help out and put whatever I can at my skill level into other people's projects, and some of them, and it's a lot of fun too. I love also, I'm a people person. I respond to people when they're working with people, and it's fun. It's a blast. So.
I think one of my favorite aspects of crowdfunding is the interaction with the fans. So it's sort of like you're at a convention, but without the mind-numbing noise around you. You can interact like with all the folks in the chat here. There's so many names that we see on our streams regularly, whether they cross over into Billy's stream or my stream. That happens a lot. But then there's some people, that I just see on mine or I just see on yours, and they're familiar faces, and they get. I think they come back because they understand or like your personality, and you get theirs too. Like when they bust your balls, I think it might have been Dr. Mask here who said when I bounced Dan out of the stream for a second there, he goes, drink. Because that's one of my things. It's like when I first started, I was bouncing myself out of the streams, and I gave everybody permission to take a drink whenever I screw up technically. So Dr. Mask has been there forever and has seen this stuff. So as soon as I bop Dan out, he goes, drink.
Great.
And I love that. I love that interaction.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun, and they're funny as heck too. I mean,
the next morning you don't feel so great because man, sometimes we're on there for hours and we're drinking.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I drank that whole bottle of wine last night.
I decided I don't want to do that because the problem is when I get some drinks in me, I think I'm really funny and I ain't funny, I'm just obnoxious, So that's the problem. Like it's not totally entertaining,
That's when you see me with this. This is when you see me with this, I'm drinking seltzer water. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
woo! And I'm like,
I've got my Yankee glass. It's the same thing. It's that plastic thing with the Yankee logo on it. And when I'm drinking that, I'm drinking water.
Well, you got to think sometimes we stream four or 5 nights a week, and they usually during the week be bombed every day.
Oh yeah, and then if you do a closeout, like if one of your friends is closing out a campaign, you're up late. Even if you don't go till the end, because the end we usually stream till 3 a.m. because that's when the campaigns close. It's midnight Pacific time, which is 3 a.m. our time. And oh my God, it's like you're just dying.
Yeah. That's not a problem for me. I work all through the night. Because of nature, what I do, everything's due the next day. So I just naturally stay up late. And even if I'm not working on something, I just can't get, to sleep. But because I'd burn out so fast. If you're trying to get this done, so I'm often sending stuff at 4 a.m. and they get on their desktop the next day. And it's like, okay, I just hit it then. But
yeah, I'm done drawing at 5 or 6.
I know you.
And then the rest of the night is streaming. And
someday I'll see mornings again. I almost see the mornings actually.
I got to get organized like that because I spend, especially when you launch a campaign, and we launched, the last campaign, 2 weeks ago tonight. The Indiegogo version of it. You send out press releases. You're sending out, that the mainstream press ignores, but we've also got the fans on the mailing list. So you're sending out updates. But I also send, I don't know if you do this, Graham. I send updates for, like we launched She Sakura on Indiegogo. All those updates went to the omnibus page. So all my updates, I'm like, She Sakura is launching in 5 days. She Sakura is launching in 3 days.
Right.
She Sakura is live. Please, if you could check it out, but then once it goes live, you have to do 2 sets of me. I have to do 2 sets of updates every day, but I'm actually doing 4 sets of updates because I have, I do it on once you go live. So now I have the new Kickstarter campaign, but I'm also doing for the omnibus backers because we had, 973 backers for the omnibus, and we have, over 300 backers for the new book. So there's still 600 backers that you're trying to reach.
Absolutely. Particularly the omnibus folks, you want them to carry, that could be their first exposure to was buying the omnibus, and you want them to having enjoyed that, to know that this saga is continuing and to cross over for sure.
And the thing too, though, what's crazy is that we do have some people want the hardcovers of the two sequels to the new book. But they're like almost all sold out. All the Return of the Warrior ones are sold out. The follow-up, the middle book, which is Haikyo, we have one box left, which I think is 40 of them. You know, we do have some other variants and stuff like that, and we're scrambling to see if we could load them up. But if you're also a good writer, you should write a story that you don't need to read the other two to pick this up.
Right.
It's like buying Fantastic Four #9.
So Billy, where are you? Are you selling on eBay then, like Ethan? I
have an eBay account, but for some reason my eBay account is locked, or because I had to pay them. I owe them like $12, but I have to, and I can't pay. I'm like, pay now, and I'm trying to pay them, but no, we sell through our website. We do have stuff on eBay, but it's kind of locked right now until I pay them because my credit card expired.
No. Hey, Rick Saylor says, Billy Tucci, your cover for the new Lady Death campaign looks amazing.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, that's La Morena.
Nice.
Yeah, and I love working with Brian. Again, you saw me last night. He was the first pro that actually treated me with respect as a lark trying to get work and trying to break into comics at San Diego. And he was so inspiring and encouraging to me and offered me a pinup. You know, in this book he has coming out next year, which ended up becoming the Lady Death swimsuit issue, and he made a real great impact on me because I was shunned by every other editor. You know, I got some bites. Can you draw like Jim Lee? I've got a story for you if you could draw like Jim Lee. Now, A, I can't draw like Jim Lee, and B, I really didn't want to draw like Jim Lee.
Right.
It's like Herb trying to draw like Rob. You think Herb wanted to draw like that?
Right.
I don't want to do that. So, that's when I decided on the way home. I'm like, you know what? I'll do this myself.
Hey, can you show my screen, Billy? You can check out my my Lady Death here. I might be selling this to Brian. He's interested in it.
Oh yeah, is that the whole thing? Oh, that's just a
yeah. I don't want to reveal the whole thing.
Oh, that's sharp,
stunning.
So yeah, I think it turned out really well, and
sell a shitload of those.
I'm looking at art. I'm looking at Adam Hughes. You know, I'm trying to pick up on that because I think he's the best there is at drawing women.
Oh yeah.
So the bar is set really high there, and it's like, oh man, it's almost depressing to look at stuff. But
yeah, but there's a lot of room in the pool.
Oh yeah. And he's brilliant. And it's you know, I look at it as inspiration.
Oh yeah,
inspirational, you know.
Well, you can look at where he was, you know, in the 80s and 90s, and then where he came now. His stuff has improved vastly. So it's just that just shows you it's hard work. This stuff is just nose of the grindstone, you know, getting busy.
I got a question for you guys, and I like to ask this to a lot of artists. Do you draw for fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I ask it, you know, people ask me what do I draw for fun, I say I don't draw for fun, I draw for money. But I do draw for, like, I don't know if you can see here. I just get like his little starship. I have this space epic adventure, and I always draw that. I have it like all over the place, doodles all over the place of but I scribble my little space adventure that I've had since I was a kid, which is awesome. And so I have all my ships, and I see how they've changed and stuff like that. But that's what I do. What about you, bud?
I don't. I find it work. You know, that I need to separate for what I do for a living. I don't get enjoyment for just drawing for myself. I have to have a reason to do it. You know, I won't just sit around and, you know, watch TV and doodle like some guys like Fraga and Aaron are, you know, they're consummate artists, always drawing all the time. And as I said, I always thought of myself as a writer that drew and not an artist that writes. So I'm thinking of stories as opposed to thinking of drawings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I have, like, if I'm out back and I'm having a cigar on a nice day or something like that, you know, I'm thinking of ideas. I'm thinking of stories. I'm not thinking about, ooh, I should draw that tree, or, you know, I should do this, and you know, pull out the sketch pad. It's just not me, you know.
I draw. I said I draw for fun, but for me, fun is experimenting. Trying something like, oh, what did that look like? Color comps, things like that. So it's fun to kind of like build your skill set for me.
Yeah,
so
that's different though. That's a learning process.
Right.
That's not like sitting in front of the TV or you're on vacation and you decide that you're going to go to the museum because they have this great display, and you bring your sketch pad and you're sitting there drawing the statues or whatever.
There's got to be a purpose for me to draw.
Yeah. I mean,
because I'm saying it's fun. I actually find it fun to go like, oh, what if I could do this, or what if I quit that with that style with this style?
Right.
I'm actually having fun. I might do that if I wasn't getting paid still.
Right.
So it's fun. I'd say that's why I call it fun. But
right. Because you're developing skills that will help you achieve a look that you could get paid for eventually. You know, like you're working out.
May not even need. Maybe I wouldn't. I just did it just to create a cool piece of work. But I would prefer to get paid for it.
Right, but you're developing a skill to which you'll hone that you can incorporate later on.
Absolutely,
which is really cool. I get that. It's just the guys that go on vacation, they bring their sketchbook and it's like, man, all I want to do is drink beer and read books.
Yeah, me too. But like read Jaws in the summer,
Yeah, exactly. Sit on a beach, just get some sun, go in the ocean, have a book in a cooler, and that's it.
Plus, you got to worry about overworking your drawing hand. You don't want to get the arthritis and all that kind of stuff by doing unnecessary drawing, I think.
Right.
That's a great excuse, buddy. That's a good one.
We're going to go with that.
Yeah. We're going to the Cape. We have San Diego Comic-Con, and then the week after San Diego, I believe, is the Terrificon in Connecticut. I'm doing both. And San Diego just kicks the hell out of you. All the travel and all the work and stuff, because there's so much at stake, because that's the only show that you pay for, unless you're a guest, which comes every 20 years or so.
Right.
Hey, Billy, you got to walk into those conventions like with one of those glass cases around your arm. It's like, I'm resting my arm right now.
Yeah, my wife would really get a kick out of that.
Rehabilitating right now.
Yeah, but you know what, Billy? Now that you're an Inkpot Award winner, you can go into the show for free. Yeah, and you can get a table for free.
Oh, you get a table too?
I believe you can get a table in Artist Alley. They'll set you up when you present your gold card.
So if I get my table for free, I can then charge Aaron Lepresti
rent
for said table.
That's right.
But but I'm anyway. I was getting back to that when I'm back. And I'm sure I won't draw because I'll be drawing at the shows, doing commissions. But I love the idea of that luxury of bringing, like you were saying, Dan, bring a pad and pencil, and you go to a museum and say yourself, I want to draw that. That would be fun. Fun. But I really want to sit my ass on the beach and fish and smoke cigars and drink scotch.
Yeah.
For 5 days, I think we're only going for. But that's also plenty for me. I get antsy. I get a little antsy. I love that idea. I don't know if you guys can. I love the idea of the ideal vacation of just sitting on the lounge chair, drinking, catching some sun, jumping in the ocean, swimming. But I get so antsy. I do it for the first day for about the first hour.
Oh,
I'm going to go for a swim, and then I'll come back and I'm like,
I have a hard time just sitting on the beach. It seems kind of boring. My favorite thing to do is hike and bike. And give me a trail to walk and, through nature, and I'm happy as can be. It's like, that's what I live for. Is I just love getting out there, and that's relaxing to me. That's fun. But I got to do something, I got to feel like I got to go climb a mountain or something,
I haven't rode a bike in a long time. So if you haven't rode a bike in a long time, like, what's it like getting back on a bike?
You never forget. That's what I say, you never forget.
Is it just like riding a bike?
But make sure
I tell you what, though. I tell you what, you got to, like, if you're talking mountain biking, you got to brush up on the skills, because
that's all right.
That's that's a little more tricky.
I want to be like, do you guys see that movie Pollock with Ed Harris? Oh, it's a great film. Great film. Well, there's one scene I could probably pull it up and share it. When he's riding home, he's like now drunk, overweight Jackson Pollock. He's lost it, and he's riding his bike from the store. Like he didn't have any money to buy a case of beer. So the guy's like, "Well, Jackson, you owe me like $60." And he goes, he takes a painting that he had on his bike and gives him the guy a painting. And the next shot, he's riding his bike and he's drunk. He's got a whole, he's got a little basket, but he's got a whole case of a wooden case of beer. Remember the old wooden,
yeah.
And he's drinking one of them and he's riding his bike and smoking a cigarette. He crashes and knocks over all the beer.
That's one of my favorite artist skits. Do you remember the SNL with John Lovitz playing Picasso, and he walks into the bar and he's just like, he does a little quickie sketch. He goes, "Hey, send a kid to college here. Yeah, drinks are on me.
Send a kid to college." John Lovitz is funny. Hey, Citizen Ronan, he says he lives in Florida. The beach is overrated. I grew up in Florida and Long Island, and the beach is my happy place.
Yeah, dude, I love the beach.
That is my place to go to relax and unwind. I've loved it since I was a little boy, and that's my vacation. I love going in the mountains too and hiking and stuff like that. But most of the time, I don't want to do anything. I just I work hard, I play hard, and when vacation comes, I just want to just power down and just eat potato chips and
hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, they built the new Blue Point. If you guys ever, I live in a town. I don't care. I dox myself. Don't bother me. A town called Bayport Blue Point. If you ever heard of Blue Point Brewery,
yeah,
oysters, Blue Points. That's our next. It's two tiny towns. So we have one school district. It's like 120 kids in the graduating class every year. But we're right on the water, on the bay, on the Great South Bay. So they just built, after I think Sandy destroyed it. It's been that long. The Blue Point Fishing Pier. And it's a beautiful little pier that juts out. If you ever see a map of Long Island, you see Blue Point sticks out. And right on the tip of that thing is a beautiful, it's dedicated only to be fishing. So I can't wait, man. I might even do it this weekend. We'll see. I got free comic book day and then Mother's Day. But if not, maybe next week, after work one afternoon, take my pole down there,
Yeah.
Get
some bluefish.
Heck yeah! Well, they got stripers are in now. These guys
stripers are in. Nice.
Catching 35-inch stripers on our, Bayport Blue Point parents page.
And so those are good eating.
Yeah,
I do enjoy the Great Lakes. I'm in Michigan, and the Great Lakes are
in Babylon.
Really.
Yeah,
Billy, I'm saying I'm in Michigan here, and I love the Great Lakes.
Where in Michigan are you?
I am in just to north of Detroit. So.
Oh, okay. So you're like about there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got friends in friends. We got family in Grosse Pointe Woods, Grosse Pointe Park.
That's where I grew up, Grosse Pointe Woods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, remember the comics, the conservative comic club or conservative comic
Comic-Cons?
Yeah. Comic-Cons, yeah. And you had said that you were, I was just in Grosse Pointe Woods at the tap room.
At the Rustics I was at.
And I said, the tap room, I would always go there. I would have met you there if I had known you.
Oh, yeah. Well, my cousin graduated. I don't know if you went to high school. Say Teresa Vogler. No, she's Vogler now. Teresa, is it Lukasavich? I think that's her. Or Lacautious. My wife would know what her maiden name is. But I think she graduated from Grosse Pointe. She lived in the woods, I think, or the farms, and she graduated the same year you did. She's a year older than me.
You guys know Shanthan Jetty, right?
Who?
Shanthan Jetty,
yes.
In the Nosferatu guy.
Yep. Oh yeah,
he's the guy who makes the our intros too, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So he grew up for a short period in Grosse Pointe, the area there, and I was a paper boy, and I told him I probably delivered because I knew what street he lived on. I said I probably delivered papers to your house, and he's just like this mind blown. It's like, oh my gosh, it's such a small world, But isn't that weird? That's a weird connection,
That's funny. Somebody said, was it Marcus Munoz? I've heard of it. He lives in Babylon, so yeah, I know Babylon very well. I grew up in North Babylon. We couldn't afford to live in Babylon. Babylon is very highfalutin, if you know what I mean.
Now, how far are you from Long Beach?
Me? Oh man. 50 minutes, an hour.
Okay.
I'm east. You know, it depending on traffic, right? Let's think about that. 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
I'm 60 miles east of the city. So
yeah, when I grew up in Long Beach, we were about 25 minutes from the city.
Yeah, Long Beach. This poor kid died this week on a Little League field. 10-year-old boy had an epileptic fit. That's on the news.
In Long Beach?
In Long Beach, yeah, Long Beach. Little kid, he got a base hit, was running first base, and had a fit. His father was a coach, and he passed away. It's horrible.
Oh wow! I played baseball on those fields.
Yeah,
yeah, right on the Reynolds Channel.
Yeah. Hey, can I share this real quick? This is that scene I was talking about.
Oh wait, is that going to strike us?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you know. Oh, just show the picture then.
Okay.
If you can share it, I won't run it. But there he is. If I take the sound off for a second, let me take the sound off and just run it for a second. But you look at him, see, he's just a mess. Like, and then he opens one up, like while he's riding, he's drunken. Look at him, and then he crashes. Look at him. That's gonna be us, boys, right there.
Hey, that's vacation.
yeah, vacation. Look at
vacation.
You gotta splice in the two-fisted manly tails into his.
Oh my god.
That's vacation for me, pal.
Hey, Graham, Graham, take a still and then put the two-fisted manly tails in his.
Yeah, there you go. Right here, Graham. There's a good one. I'll do some
yeah, have the book on the ground.
Oh, that's great. Look at this. Let me do it.
Oh, let's see if we can save that. Let's see. 4.
I'll send it to you.
Oh shoot! I was just capturing it. That's right.
I'll message it to you right now.
Don't worry about it.
All right. You're gonna write to. I'm sorry. Well, I can still share it. I didn't move it. I don't think. Oh, maybe I did.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Hey guys, I found something today that was pretty fascinating because I know you all like Kevin Nowlin, and he inked one of my first jobs at Marvel. But I saw on his blog he had a picture. He must have inked over vellum or something because he's got the wait a minute. He had my pencils, which was up there. So I was surprised to see that. Here's the pencils, and then you can see what he did, which was, blew my mind. I was like, oh, whoa. I thought it was so cool. There's the ink interpretation,
Wow, look at that. Now, what's with the logo? Did you paste that on or something? Or what?
I didn't. I don't,
That looks like it was lettered by the letterer.
What year is this?
87 or 8 probably, or something like that.
I wish you didn't add that thing to the cheek, that little cheek.
I agree. I think your pencils are stronger on the figure.
Oh, yeah. You know what though? Take a look if you saw the you see it closer. It's also he colored this baby and it was amazing. It's so cool. But the whole thing was like
what
that.
He did on the fish netting though. Whereas yours is perpendicular, he did his as like diamonds on the inks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think that describes the forms a little bit better.
Yeah.
But everything else, I mean, your figures back here of Dagger, is that Dagger?
Yeah, it's Dagger.
I guess it is. Yeah. He didn't overpower it like he does sometimes.
Yeah, I was just amazed to see that my pencils exist somewhere.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So that means there's probably more pencils out there. I have to contact him and see if
you could become your best friend, dude. You could be this is your excuse to become friends with Kevin Nowlin now.
Yeah.
It's Nolan, by the way, just like me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always said Nolan, but then I saw the W. I thought it was Nowlin, but
no, he just spells it wrong. We got into an argument about that.
Yeah, he probably spells it like an Englishman. Right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. I said, especially out of Ireland with that kind of spelling, lad.
That's a good Irish.
But very talented artist. Amazing.
Someone just asked, "Hey, I'll be tracking down Dan Lawlis books," but it's actually Lawlis with an L-I-S at the end of it.
Yeah, but I love the idea of lawless comics, though.
I know.
Right.
I kind of always, because growing up, that's what the Lawless. Your name's Lawless. That's so cool. And I was like, well, it's not really, And I always kind of wish always wish it was Lawless, So it'd be. So I was almost a lawless person, but didn't quite. I couldn't do it right. I was a bad lawless.
Just wasn't in your constitution.
You were too good to be lawless.
I guess I was, man. I don't know. I'm not that good, but
well, nobody wants to be that good.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So,
well,
hey, let's see some of these campaigns. Let's watch that sheet trail. That was pretty cool.
Well, we can watch. We can do the Two-Fisted Manly Tales. If you want to, I can share mine if you want. But let's see yours.
Window. Boom. Oh, that's not. Yeah. There it is. Here we go.
Nice over 2 G's, bro.
Is that volume on? Can you hear that?
Yeah, not too loud. Who did this?
Nick Roche did the video, Dan.
Tremendous.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, he did a great job. This book is 112 pages long, guys. It's got artists in there like Michael Golden. Oh my God, I draw a blank when I try to think of everybody because there's so many people. There's 10
Dan
artists.
Lawlis.
Dan Lawlis. Butch Geis.
Larry Stroman.
Who was that one?
Larry Stroman.
Larry Stroman. Right.
Just scroll down.
Andy. Yeah, that's right. It's pretty stupid of me. I got them all listed here. Andy Kuhn, Bart Sears, Frank Fosco.
I didn't know there was a Bart Sears in it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Frank
Kelsey
Fosco.
Shannon. Yeah, this is a really great lineup. And then for writers, we got Chuck Dixon. How do you go wrong with that?
I like the art I've seen from Andrew. It looks pretty cool.
Andrew Paquette?
Yeah.
It's really neat.
He did the seaplane one, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Bo Smith and Tim Rozon, Kevin Grievous of Underworld fame, and yours truly.
There you go. Hey, why don't you remove Citizen Ronan's thing so we could see Dan?
Oops.
You don't want to see me.
There we go. Yeah, I think I could probably put you guys on the bottom too, right?
That's badass. So for a few, oh, look at that! Will you look at that?
That looks like a Butch. Is that Butch Geist? That guy yelling there?
No, that's Kelsey.
Oh, it's Kelsey. Yeah, Kelsey's.
Cool. Yeah, that's Buck Thornton from my second story. Buck Thornton always gets his man.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a real badass bounty hunter story.
Tarantino would love this book.
It takes place in the future, and this is the story that has the aliens from Alien Alamo in it. So it ties this book into that Nolan verse world, which wasn't my intent when I did it. It was just going to be a standalone. But as I was writing the story, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I got a way to fit this in organically, and I can actually let the readers know a little bit more about these creatures. So I decided to do that. Why not, right? I'm the boss. I can do what I want.
Whatever you want, bro. You're an American.
That's right. I'm the president of Compass Comics. Gosh darn it.
That's right. How much more American can you get than making your own comics? Right? Comics is an American art form, man.
It is indeed.
It's funny when I listen to you guys talk about this. It's like the idea of ever working at Marvel or DC sounds so unappetizing because you can just do what you want. I mean, it's just great. Oh, that's a great picture.
What's more American than this, my friends?
That's right. Where's my damn bell? Damn, that deserves it. Where's my bell? Oh.
Look at that. Smoking a cigar, holding a Thompson submachine gun, and having a bald eagle land on it.
That's awesome.
The only thing missing is like back here. There should be a bottle of bourbon.
Yeah. That's awesome. You got to add the bourbon or Cheneau Brew. Add a little bottle of Cheneau Brew right there.
There we go. Yeah, I should add that in.
Right above that sandbag on top.
Maybe I could put it in the eagle's foot. Like he's delivering it. He's delivering it to me.
Yes, he's delivering you your own Cheneau Brew.
Yeah. That's got to be cool, getting a beer delivered by a bald eagle. I mean,
you need a Compass Comics logo on that shirt, though, too, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, I'm going to play with that. I'm going to work on that tomorrow. That'll be fun. Then we got Billy's campaign here, which is kicking butt. 334 backers. Look at that. I just say his name and it goes bouncing up.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, all you guys over there in Billy's campaign, come over to
now, Billy, is that yours? This image frozen here on the video?
No, that's Gardenilo's art. That's Gardenilo Lim. I gave him his own variant cover.
Okay,
and he
beautifully done.
Like the bomb. I don't know if you want to share it, but you know what, Graham? What I'm going to do is I'm going to share Giant Size Two-Fisted Manly Tales tomorrow on my update. In my update.
Thanks, brother.
So
I'll do the same for you.
Yep, and that's
I'll do an update tomorrow.
That's what we should start doing. Get all the kings, all the bros. Everyone should do that. In every update we do at the bottom, we should. Here's another campaign. Thank you for backing us. Here's another campaign to check out.
Right.
And give our buddies props. Give our fellow bros and kings props, you know?
Well, yeah, because I mean, there's certainly there's crossover people, you know, people that are going to be on my list and your list, but then there's people on my list that aren't on yours and vice versa.
Right.
And so we can cross-pollinate. And
I promise.
You say that I was going to contact you today about that, about doing that. So great minds think alike.
Yep. I might, when we leave, depending what time we end, send my updates out tonight. If not, I'll do it first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Guys, I actually, it's easier to promote somebody else's friends than your own, because it's not natural to say, hey, I'm great, look at me, you know. But when you got somebody else's, you can just let loose and just go, this is the greatest, you know, and have a lot of fun with talking it up and selling it. So it's you know, it's natural to do it for somebody else versus yourself.
Right.
I feel anyways.
Well, let's see what this trailer looks like.
All right.
I sure hope a bell doesn't get broken in this thing.
Greetings, everybody. 28-year comic book veteran Billy Tucci here, and I am so excited to introduce you and to welcome you to our latest Kickstarter campaign, She Sakura. Crusade Comics brings you the final chapter to the She Return of the Warrior trilogy, setting the final fiery stage for a samurai showdown of epic proportions. Upon learning that she's full-blooded Japanese, Anna Ishikawa has unlocked a danger that she's not prepared for. Her birth mother's wrath that comes in the form of an automaton-like killer bent on destroying all that she loves. At the same time, her daughter Hotaru, having survived the trauma in Haikyuu, actually feels empowered by the experience and succumbs to an inner violent streak with savage repercussions. But wait, there's more! Team She is joined by superstar variant cover artists Asha Krishna, Gardenilo Lima, and Jeff Chapman. We're also offering lots of other She-related items, including original art, prints, t-shirts, commissions, and special editions, including the Ash Cantor Crusade's next great adventure, John Brolia and my long-awaited sequel to Zombie Sama 2, Dorm of the Dead. So please, join us on our latest crusade and harken back to the days when comics were fun and thought-provoking. I promise you, you're going to love She Sakura. I'm just going to smash myself in the face with this thing. I broke my bell, Scala. I broke my bell.
I really did.
Literally broke my bell, smashing against my head.
Did Niall put that video together?
Yeah, Niall did all that. Yeah.
Did a great job.
Yeah, he does. He's a fantastic job with all that he does. You know, running the Pop XP, running a big construction company, writing his own book. He'll be launching later on this year, called Medico. His own Indiegogo and stuff like that. So he's
nice.
And he's got two twins. He's got two-year-old twins.
Wow. Well, what do you mean he runs a construction company? What is that? His day job?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what does he do? Is he a foreman or?
No, he does. I don't know. Does all. He's in the office.
Oh,
so he does bidding. He does acquisitions. He does all the numbers. All
no kidding.
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't know that.
Shot. Yeah.
Billy, those faces in your comic are beautifully drawn. I think they're just wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I mold them. A lot of them are I draw myself in the mirror and then I feminize it. Well, again, that's Gardenia Lima's. If you know, that's his that finishing aspect that he does and that extra touch he does to it. Because the important thing for me is that it's my storytelling.
Yes.
You know, my page layouts. And again, I make it as easy as I can for him, but it takes me half a day to do one of my rough pages, as opposed to 2 days to do a finished page.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal here is to get these books out. You know, like that Zombie Sama 2 book, that book is already done. It's almost all colored, all 48 pages of that book. I start in 2 weeks, She Gatecrasher, which doesn't launch until 2023, January 2023. So I hope that our plan going forward is to have all of our books penciled, inked, lettered, and colored before we even launch it.
Nice.
I've done this before. I published 100 books or so before this when I was publishing for a decade, you know?
Well, now you have an audience that's rather reliable, right?
Yeah, thank God, right? I mean, look at these people. And again, here's the argument. I know, Grant, this is your first Kickstarter. It's your first Kickstarter as, you know, on your own.
By myself. Yeah,
by yourself. So it's almost like you're reaching for a new audience.
Right.
Plus that your audience is so used to being on Indiegogo and exclusively Indiegogo. It's amazing that you've grabbed $2,000 already in your first 6, whatever it is, 8 hours.
Right.
I mean, that's tremendous. Because you're starting from scratch. We started on Kickstarter. So we've had 1,000 backers, for our first book we did. Our Kickstarter backer count was 1,009 backers for Return of the Warrior. And we launched on that first. Then we did Indiegogo and we got, a bunch more. And just, being, hanging with the Kings, doing the bros and stuff and launching with Ethan and having a lot of fun. I like doing the, we do the Indiegogo first, the Indiegogo launch. And then we hit something special with our Kickstarter exclusive to make that campaign exclusive. But again, we've had in our first 24 hours, we've gotten, we're almost at $34,000. Who's going to say no to that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What's the cutoff?
Hold on a second, Dan. Kelsey finished his work, right? Otherwise, you're going to need to go on a manhunt. Not only did he finish it, he killed it. Nice. Kelsey's pages are done. They're colored and they're at the letterer right now. Those are the Buck Thornton pages. And I'm so excited about that story. It is so cool. So
people are saying, "Hey, Kelsey disappeared." It's like, I understand that when you got deadlines and you got to hit something, you don't really have time to do much else. If you want it to be good.
Yep.
Hey, I was going to ask you guys, what is the dollar value that you got to get to break even? When do you?
Depends on what your upfront costs are.
Yeah.
Like for this project, Giant Size Two-Fisted Manly Tales, my break-even cost is high because I'm hiring people.
Right.
And I got to pay them, and I hope to pay them bonuses after all the expenses are paid.
Yeah.
Shipping costs are up. Shipping materials are up. So yeah, I mean, it's made 118,000. Now 120 with the 2,000 here.
But that's a lot of employees.
That's a lot of people that have to get paid, and Indiegogo takes their cut, and Kickstarter takes their cut out too. So you're not left with that. When I'm doing it myself, and I'm the writer, artist, publisher, all that kind of stuff. Well, then the costs are a lot lower. So the profit margins get higher.
Right. Yeah, this is a pretty massive undertaking for you to have, and
then there's the fulfillment costs.
Yeah. And they're heavy, these books. So, hopefully it'll fit a Gemini mailer. Have you checked the spine size? Will it fit in a Gemini?
Oh, yeah. You can fit like 10 comics into a Gemini.
Oh, okay.
you know, I was looking at the Gemini. I was on Gemini's site today, actually checking the stats. You can put trade paperbacks in there.
How long does fulfillment usually take you guys?
Well, it's taken. It took about 2 months.
Yeah, we're about 2 months too. And we paid, as I said, on the Kings Monday night, if you heard, Dan, but we were over $70,000 just the United States Postal Service.
Oh my goodness!
In shipping. Wow. That does include UPS and some books ship FedEx, you know, stuff like that. You know, the bigger packages and all. And it's like, oh
wow, that is a huge chunk.
Yeah.
And Eric, to answer your question, Eric the Guapo, projected fulfillment date on Manly Tales for Indiegogo is August. For the Kickstarter campaign is September. But it'll probably all be August, depending on you know, how well the Kickstarter does. But yeah, so August is the projected fulfillment date for that.
Who are you fulfilling, or do you have a fulfillment house?
In the past, I've used fulfillment houses, but I think for Two-Fisted Manly Tales, trying to cut costs, Julie and I are going to fulfill it. Because it'll be in the summer, it'll be a little bit easier for us because we could spread out stuff into the garage. You know, I'm in Western New York, so in the winter time, like when the Chinook was being fulfilled and Alien Alamo was being fulfilled, I couldn't put that stuff in the garage, and so I needed a fulfillment center to do those two. And you know, it's expensive. You know, not only the shipping, but the materials, and then the time. You know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so we're gonna try and do it ourselves on this one.
You'll do it.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. I'm only doing it because Julie is now working for Compass Comics, and she's so organized. I have complete faith that, you know, she'll keep me from falling off the rails, and will make sure, you know, everything's in order. You know, much better than I would have if I was trying to run it. So she will be the fulfillment queen, and make sure everything gets out on time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I got another thing I could share that I did this for. You guys know the Barton brothers in Australia? They got a company called Kozor, but Billy, I'm bringing it up because it's I penciled it and then I colored it. You know,
oh, look at that cheese. Oh,
but I'll zoom in and you can wait a second.
Dan, you are incredible. My goodness.
Thanks.
Yeah, very nice.
Hang on a second. Where's the
Yeah, we need definitely with me and Jeff Vaughn's book, you have to do a Gate Crasher cover.
But you can see that's you know, the texture, that's pencil. Just
that's
darken it
pencil?
up. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. Look at the by the eyes and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not the cleanest line.
It's not 1960 anymore, so you don't need to ink.
Right. That's true.
You can do whatever with the computer age. You can do whatever you want.
True.
Yeah. Well, I'm painting the crap out of it too, obviously. So it's like.
Oh yeah. But do you when you scan the pencils in, or are you penciling digitally?
I am I'm penciling just a piece of paper and pencil and.
Okay, so then you scan it in, and then you go in and you adjust the thresholds and stuff. Yeah,
I usually do the whatever the levels thing. Yeah, work on that. Yeah. So I darken it and stuff like that, but not too much. You know, I mean, a lot of it is darkened just when you start painting it and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Now, do you do layers over the pencil?
Yeah, I do. If I want, especially for the shine marks and things like that. Obviously, you know.
Well, like, do you start with flats?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I flatten most of my stuff. Like with Two-Fisted Manly Tales, I flatted that all out.
Okay.
Which I was surprised. I was shocked.
A separate layer and model it.
What's that?
You go over a separate layer to model it.
Yeah, I mean, I should just show you guys one time at some point here and what I do, but I'm doing it a lot like you would do with an oil painting. You know, just starting with your darks and lights, and then just starting building up color. The amazing thing now is you can do a layer of just color and just you know how Frazetta would throw those reds and blues in the bodies and stuff. You just put that right down the layer and it changes the color.
Hey Dan, why don't you come on the show next week? And you can do a painting demonstration.
Sure.
Do you want to do that?
That would be a great show.
Yeah. I know a lot of the fans like to see the drawing shows that I do, but it would be great to see you do this technique for people, and we could talk about, you know, the process and you know, like the little things, like when you're putting a layer on. Well, what do you set that layer to? Is it on darken or multiply, or, you know, all the different things, and we can talk about that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. You hear that, folks?
Something.
Dan's going to be the guest next week for a painting demonstration.
Huzzah!
Wow.
Was that loud?
That was perfect.
Oh, thank you.
It's weird though. I lost my screen of you guys when I. You're still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're here.
I can't see you, but
you can't see us.
No, I don't know what I did with my when I shared that thing. It just disappeared on me.
Well, here, let me get rid of it and see what happens then. How about now?
Yeah, let me just see if maybe it went underneath these things. I don't need to see anymore, anyways.
Yeah.
So, but
all right. Well, I think we've been on here almost 2 hours.
Gosh, really?
So we'll wrap it up here. Everybody in the chat, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. My buddies Billy and Dan, thank you for coming on and sharing your views and discussing, you know, this really cool stuff in this really cool era that we're in now. With crowdfunding and producing great comics and igniting again that love for the art form that we have that was actually kind of burning out. But now it's been rekindled as if, you know, we took a torch and lit a nice Cubano.
There you go, bro. I'm looking forward to doing that in June or July in Morristown, New Jersey.
Yes. And Ethan might come up for that. He said he might drive up.
It's got to come up for that.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's like an hour or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. So, well, thanks, everybody. You guys have a great night. The professionals will not be on tomorrow. So I guess we'll see you on the Kings on Monday.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Good to see you guys, Graham. Thanks for having me, too. And thanks for sharing the campaign.
Of course. Thank you. And we'll see you guys.